Today is February the 13th, 2015. My name is Tanya Finchum, along with Alex Bishop. We're with Oklahoma State University, and today we are in Stillwater, Oklahoma, to speak with Marge Rohl, and this is part of our Oklahoma 100-Year Life Project. So thank you for allowing us to come today. Let's start with having you tell us when and where you were born.
Well, I was born in Buffalo, New York, and I was the second in my family. In other words, I had a sister who died when she was very young. So I always thought my family were especially careful, wouldn't let me get into trouble. Shucks.
And when were you born? When's your birthday?
What's your date?
December 8, 1914.
Okay. And what did your parents do for a living?
My father and his brothers were in business, and I don't know if I could pin it down to one thing, but they dealt a lot with farmers, and I'm not too sure about it, other than they kind of changed with how things were. It started out with horses and wagons, and they went to automobiles.
Can I prompt?
Huh?
They started out with horses, and then they went into seat covers and things that were made with leather.
They went into seat covers and things that were made into leather. Your
Yeah, okay. I didn't hear you really.
okay.
Here, it's me that you're... The Grandpa and the brothers started out with horse collars, leather shoes, and leather things, and then when they didn't have horses, they moved to making seat covers and things for
Yeah,
automobiles.
that's right.
I knew you knew.
She knows more about it than I do. You don't pay attention to those things unless you're interested in it. That's how it is.
So were there other children besides you and your sister? Or was
No.
just you? And were you born in a hospital or at home in the house? Do you know? Don't remember?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably at home.
Probably.
Yeah.
And where did you go to elementary school?
In Buffalo, New York, school 39.
Was it a small school?
When you're a kid, anything is bigger.
Well, did you have a favorite subject?
No, I don't remember any.
How would you get to school? How would you get to school?
Walked.
What?
Did it ever snow?
Our school didn't have all of the facilities that a modern school has, like they didn't have a home ec department, so we would have to walk to another school to get that part. I remember having to do that. Didn't like it very much, but
Especially in the winter?
yeah, specific. You don't know what weather is until you experience the Buffalo weather.
Well, what would you take for your lunch? Or would you walk home for lunch?
I think we walked home for lunch until I got to high school. Then it was too far to walk.
So, what year would you have graduated from high school?
Oh,
1931, 32, something like that? Probably. I mean, were you 18?
I think she was younger.
Oh,
'Cause I think
you finished younger, high school younger? You don't know? Okay. We'll move on then.
it's all a long time ago. I'm glad I finished.
I just remember her saying when she went to college, she was younger than most of the other students, and so I assume she might have graduated at 16, 17 from high school. Her birthday being in December, that's logical.
Yes. So once you finished high school, what did you do?
I went to college, and the only thing was the teacher's college because I remember wanting to go to Cornell, but my folks were dead set against. I couldn't go that far away. They couldn't keep track of me.
So where did you go?
Teacher's college in Buffalo
In
State.
Buffalo State. Was that a 2-year to get a certificate, a teaching certificate?
Probably. It was a 4-year.
No, it was a 4-year school.
4-year. Okay.
It was started as a normal school, but I'm pretty sure it was 4 years when she went.
What was your major?
What did you major in?
Yeah, I know the question. I guess home economics is the answer.
Sure.
You're asking me a lot of questions that I haven't even thought about.
It's kind of fun to think about though, isn't it?
Yeah,
What kind of courses would you have had? Learning how to sew or cook or what?
I remember that the first year you took everything, everybody took the same thing. And then you could specialize after that. And it's crazy to think about it, but one of my friends said, well, why don't you do this, Marge, because you like cooking and sewing, so why don't you go into home ec? That's how I got there.
Career choice.
Peer influence?
Did it turn out to be a good choice? Did it turn out to be a good choice?
Yeah. Very good.
Did you make close friends when you were in college?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about your friends group.
God. I made close friends. We usually stayed out of trouble, but sometimes we didn't. Help me out.
Well, they were all in home ec too. All of your close friends were in home ec too. Mary and Ethel and Ann and Dorothy, and I missed one.
Huh?
Do you remember anything else about them?
Yeah, okay.
Do you remember anything else about them? Your girlfriends? Would you go to sock hops? Would you go to dances?
Oh. No, I don't think so. Oh, not the first year. After a while, I had a boyfriend, and he liked to dance. So we led a lot of that.
Where did you meet your boyfriend?
Where did you meet your boyfriend?
I lived in the city of Buffalo, but our family had a farm that had been in the family, and that was in a small village about 20 miles east of Buffalo. So I had a lot of friends from that area because we spent the time in the summer, we spent it in the country. You're really dragging the old.
Well, how did you meet the boyfriend? Where did you meet him?
I think well, it was at a dance, and you didn't have to go to the dance as a couple, so a bunch of us went to the dance, and we met there, and it went on from there, right?
What was his name? What was his name?
Burton.
Burton.
And he became your husband.
Well,
She said, and he became your husband?
yeah.
How did he pop the question?
Oh, God. I don't remember.
You just said yes.
Yeah.
And when did you get married? Do you know what? Remember what year?
Oh, boy. I had to think about that. Oh.
Or how old were you? We can do the math. How old were you when you got married? Do you remember?
Well, I was in college, so
We'll look it up later.
Oh, you were teaching.
She said you were already teaching when you
Yeah.
got married.
mm-hmm. I taught in a school in New York State in the sort of the south west corner, and they raised grapes. And the kids used to brag at how many grapes they closed school and the children all worked in the fields, right, picking grapes. You know, I didn't think too much about it at the time, but it was interesting.
Well, in your early married life, it would have been Depression time. In the early 30s, the Depression.
What was your question?
Do you have any memories of the Depression? Living through the Depression?
I remember my father talking about it, and he and his brothers were in business, so it was difficult for them. They needed the business, but still the farmers couldn't pay. So they gave a lot of credit, I guess. Yeah,
Did your mother work?
no.
Did she do a lot of sewing?
Yeah, she was very good at it.
Make your clothes?
Yeah. until I got big enough, I had to do it myself.
Would you create your own pattern or use a store-bought one?
No, I didn't get that creative.
Did you take music lessons as a youngster?
I took piano.
Okay.
I wasn't very good at it, and I didn't really stick to it. But that's it.
Well, talk a little bit about the house that you grew up in. The house you grew up in.
Yeah. What about it?
Tell me a little bit about it. Describe it for me.
Oh,
How many bedrooms and that sort of thing.
55 Timon Street, you know it. You can even picture it.
I don't think about it much, and I don't remember very much. I know we lived there, and my mother and I would sometimes like to move, but it was convenient for my father, and he was the boss.
Was it 2 stories? Did it have 2 stories or 1? Was the house 2?
One.
Did it have indoor plumbing?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
We also had a garage to keep the cars.
Did you have sidewalks? Did you have sidewalks?
Did the
Did
town
the city have
sidewalks?
sidewalks?
Did the city have sidewalks?
Yeah.
What did you do on the sidewalks?
What did you do on the sidewalks?
Roller skate.
And what happened then? And what happened?
Someone broke my arm. Shoot.
Well, what was Christmas like?
Good question.
Would you have a tree?
Oh, yeah. The only thing I really remember about that is that they kept very quiet. And my mother had a lot of sisters and my father had brothers. But anyway, they didn't let me do much of anything, okay? I was a protected kid.
Does that mean that you were spoiled a little bit too?
Probably. I don't know. They'd like to think they didn't spoil me, but I had everything they could afford to give me.
I guess we should back up and ask what was your maiden name?
Chamber. Chamber. S-C-H-A-M-B-E-R.
Okay. Well, what were some of the favorite foods that your mother cooked for you?
I guess the answer to that is she was good at baking, and she did a lot of it. In fact, if she, let's say for example, she baked bread, then she'd give some for us and some for her family, you know. I don't know.
Was church an important part of your life?
I started out in Sunday school, and that was the only time that I don't know how to answer that. You know, it was, my family were not church-going people, but I went to Sunday school and got to know other kids my age. I guess that's it.
Who took you to church? I'll just say it.
Who took you to church?
My father.
Did he go in? Did he go to church?
Did he go in with you?
Oh, he just dropped me off and picked me up.
He was a pretty big influence in your life? Was he a pretty big influence in your life, your father?
He was the boss. Period.
Was he the one that did the discipline?
I probably got away with a lot. I'm not so sure about the discipline.
I don't know. I don't think Grandpa was a disciplined. Who are these people? Talk about the sisters.
What?
Talk about the Parker sisters.
That's my mother and her sister. What did she say?
So talk a little bit about them.
Oh,
And here's the rest of them. Okay, who's this?
that's my Aunt Ethel and Andrew.
Okay, and these are the sisters. So talk about the sisters. What did you learn from the sisters?
What did you learn from the sisters? Your aunts.
Oh boy, I don't know. I think I learned from that my family kept very close track of what went on. I didn't get away with very much unless I was away from home. I don't know how to answer that. Our family would get together and have parties and things like that that I discovered afterwards. Other people didn't do that, so we were a little unusual that we kept close to the family rather than scattered. Help me out there.
Well, the Chamber family and the Parker family, between the two of them, you had 15 or 20 people, and they all, any gathering, Memorial Day, July 4th, those were all family gatherings, and they were all parties.
She said the whole family would gather at 4th of July and Memorial Day and things like that. Celebrations.
And then there were so many.
A lot of family picnics, and we had a place in the country that had who grew up there, but anyway, as they stayed together as a family. In other words, they were friends with you, and you didn't have a party unless you had everybody.
Probably no secrets then either, huh?
No. Not that I found out.
Okay, so once you graduated from college,
Yeah.
you went to work.
Yeah, I did. And I remember about that as some member of their, somebody on their faculty or some family, they said, oh, I know this kid, she's just graduated, and if we get her, we won't have to change every, there'd been such a lot of change that people would stay maybe a year if they were lucky. So, this was a small town south of and west of the city, in the middle of a grape growing area. The kids got off from school in order to pick grapes. I was in the city, I thought that was very unusual.
How long were you there?
I think 2 years. I think 2. I'm not positive.
And then where did you go?
Why did you leave?
I got married.
So if you got married, you had to quit?
Yes, definitely. Well, it was tough. Things were tough, and there weren't very many openings. So if you got married, then you had to leave. Well, and it also a place that I taught was southwest of the city. In the grape growing areas, they used to give the days off of school so the kids would pick grapes. And I was in the city, I thought that was unusual. I don't know if it was, but anyway.
So once you got married, you had to quit your job. How many children did you have?
Didn't have any when I got married.
One. I understand that, or I hope anyway.
You might find something out you never knew.
Well, I'll rephrase that. How many children did you end up having?
4.
4. Boys, girls?
3, 1 boy and
3 girls.
3 girls.
And did you go back to work at some point?
It was quite a lot later. I have to think about that. I don't remember.
Yeah, Mom, Mr. Conrad offered you a job. Do you remember now?
She said Mr. Conrad offered you a job.
Oh, yeah.
Why did you need a job?
At that time, Debbie knows more about that.
She just said, why did you need to go back to work?
My husband had died. And in fact, he had an injury to his foot. And, well, he never recovered from that. So anyway, I was available, and somehow or other the principal found out that I had been a teacher, and I got hired in a new school, a new situation, and lots of work.
I'm assuming teaching home ec. What did you teach?
I taught home economics.
Were the students mostly girls? Were the students mostly girls? Or did you have some boys in your class?
We had a boys' club, and they didn't mix the boys in the girls' classes, but the boys thought it was fun if they could learn to cook. They loved to bake. They loved to eat, but they I don't know.
Was it pretty hard raising 4 children on your own?
Well, it probably was tough, but my parents lived in Buffalo, and they came out and really took the kids over the weekend. Is that right? Yeah. So I got a break. So they were in school, or and they were good kids. I don't know.
How long did you teach that time around?
Oh boy.
My sister thinks she retired in 72, so she started about 54. It's about 20, probably whatever the lowest level of retirement would be, 20 years or something.
She was saying she thinks you retired in 1972.
Oh,
Does that sound about right? Does it? Don't know. Okay. Did you enjoy teaching?
yes. I was in a good spot. You know, everybody was friendly and helpful. And I remember the principal once said, well, he wouldn't have to find a teacher every couple of years. Yeah, so, I don't know.
Ask her
I
what she
think this
liked.
is the news to her too.
What did she like most about teaching?
What did you enjoy most about teaching?
I don't know.
Not grading homework. Not grading homework.
No, we didn't give any homework.
No homework?
Well, not in home economics, no.
They didn't have to sew something at home and bring it back in? No.
You're getting too deep here.
Well, we'll switch topics a little bit. Do you remember your first radio? Your first radio? Maybe that's not a good one to go to either.
Good question.
Or television.
Well, I have to go back to the first radio. I had an uncle who was a very successful businessman, so he sometimes bought something for the family. And that's how we got some things. I don't know what else.
First television?
Don't know.
Don't know. Your first car?
My first car. I don't really remember, but the first car we had was a family car. My father used it in his business. My mother would not drive, so it was up to me. So I learned to drive. I don't really.
I don't think she ever had a car until they were married.
Yeah.
I mean, a controlling grandfather would not, her father would not give a daughter a car.
I didn't hear what she said.
She just said you probably didn't have a car till much later, you yourself.
Oh, no, probably.
Well, what would you do for fun?
Well, I liked roller skating and ice skating, and we live near, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It seems like it was Humboldt.
Yes.
Anyway,
That's right.
they freeze the pond, and then everybody could skate.
It was a city park.
The city park? At the city park?
Yeah.
Skate.
Yeah. I run out of thoughts.
You're doing great. You're doing great. So, did your husband have to serve in World War II? Do my math.
No, and the reason was that he was working in Curtis, and they were building airplanes and were they were excused from that because their defense work in the plant.
They contributed to the war through what they did. I
Yeah.
understand. Sure.
I guess so.
Well, living in New York, would you ever go to New York City?
I think once. But we were closer to Toronto, and we would go there for sometimes, well, as a group we'd get on a bus and we'd go for dinner and a show. Yeah. My daughter says I got that right.
Did you ever go see Niagara Falls?
Yeah.
He's
We had a lot of company that wanted to go to the falls.
But that's all they came for.
Good place to say cheap. Okay, what else?
what brought you to Oklahoma?
I think my family got together and decided that I couldn't be alone. I'd have to be near somebody so they could keep track of me. Yeah. So Oklahoma opened up.
I had the best weather.
She said she had the best weather.
By default.
Oklahoma had the best weather.
Well, I think that did contribute to it.
Had you been here before?
Yeah,
You'd visited before?
yeah.
When did you move here?
2006.
2006?
Whatever she said, probably right.
Did you ever think you would live to 100?
No. Have I made it?
You have to answer that for me. What did you do to celebrate? What did you do to celebrate?
I think we went out to dinner. No?
We had a party right here.
You had a party here?
Oh, okay. She remembers better than I do.
What is your secret to living so long?
Good luck.
Did your did anyone else in your family live to be 100?
No,
No, you're the first?
no.
Did you eat an apple a day or something?
Nothing as easy as that, no. I think in the first place, you are alive and you have genes and you've had, background in your family. And after that, you just got lucky.
Eat right and exercise.
So have you eaten right and exercised throughout your life?
You have 4 kids, you exercise whether you want to or not.
And she used to swim.
Oh, she said you used to swim. You used
Yeah.
to swim.
I liked ice skating too.
Did you enjoy reading?
What was it?
He was asking if you enjoy reading.
Yeah.
She also cross-country skied. I forgot about that.
Go ahead.
After the kids were in bed, then I could enjoy.
What did you usually read?
Anything I could get a hold of. Nothing in particular, but everything.
Ask her if she traveled and see what she says.
Mysteries or romance or didn't matter?
Mysteries I liked. And sometimes I'd read something because somebody recommended it and I'd say, oh shoot, throw it away.
Well, did you travel very much?
All that I could. Are you going to ask me where I've been?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's one of your favorite places you've been to?
What's one of your favorite places?
Oh boy. I don't know if I had a favorite. I just like to travel, and I got in with a group who were travelers. So we just, somebody arranged it and we went.
Mostly in the United States?
No. I've been to China. And where else?
Let me scoot through that. I have the list, but I don't know where I put it.
She has to get something she wrote down. She's gonna get a list she made. She's gonna get a list.
There you go.
Oops. Oh. Okay. Athens, Greece,
Good Lord, I didn't know she had a
Florida. I don't even think of Florida as a foreign country. Canary Islands, there you go.
There's the
Canary
rest.
Islands.
Been to Hawaii too. One of the places is Hawaii.
Ask her if she's got a travel bug.
What,
A travel what?
A
Bug.
travel bug. Or where she got her travel bug.
what was the question?
She wants to know where you got your travel bug.
Gee, that is a very good question. I don't know the answer to that. It could be because my parents weren't allowed to travel. And so, of course, if it was not to be, then I'd want to do it. I don't know.
Is there a place you have never been that you always wanted to go to?
So, that's what I've been.
Is there a place that you wanted to go to that you didn't get to?
Don't think so.
It's up to
After a while, your travel bug gets tired.
What's the biggest challenge for being 100? What's your biggest challenge, you think?
The first place, I don't think about it.
Okay.
And the second place, I know I'm in a good spot here. So I guess you say, well, that's how it is. I'm happy to be here. And Kay takes good care of me if it's necessary, and I try to keep in touch with my family. I can hardly keep up with them. They're always moving.
Well, describe a typical day for us. A typical day, what time do you get up?
Oh, usually by 8 or so.
And go to bed? At what time?
Well, maybe 10.
That's a pretty long day.
Well, I don't do anything.
That was my next question. What do you do during the day?
I read a lot. I guess.
Where do you get your reading materials? How do you get them?
Okay.
Kay brings them.
You do word puzzles. Oops.
And you do word puzzles?
Yes.
Are you very good at them?
Probably average.
I'd say you're better than I am.
Do you have a philosophy or a motto you live by?
No, not really. If I do, I don't really put it into words. Other than get up and get going.
That's probably true.
How you doing, Alex? I'm just impressed that you're still hearing. I'm impressed that you read as much as you do. I guess the biggest thing is your hearing. The biggest challenge is your hearing.
Yeah.
You see pretty well. Take much medicine?
No.
That's amazing too.
One. You have one
Vitamin
prescription.
pill.
One prescription.
One prescription?
Right.
One prescription?
Yeah.
Otherwise she takes a vitamin.
But I check every once in a while. That's because my daughter takes me.
And you never remarried?
Your mother of 4 kids. You got enough to do. You don't need, you don't ask for trouble.
They were pretty good kids though, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they all take care of me. They make sure, I don't know what I think they have a private line and they, if one knows it, it gets spread out. Is that right?
Family cohesion's
I
never
got
stopped.
that right. Give me a plus.
Give you a plus.
Except I'm the family screener because they only get what I send along.
When you retired, was it mandatory retirement? Did you have to because you were 65, or did you just choose to?
No, I don't think so.
Well, in 1972, it was mandatory that if you went 65, you had to retire.
Gee, would you have been 65 in 72?
72, 13.
Too much math for me at the moment. We'll figure
Would've
that out
been
later.
Okay.
Would have been 60.
If
Would have
you
been
figure it out, let me
1979.
know.
Would have been
Did you ever
65.
quilt? Did you quilt? No.
No. I tried it once. I was too slow.
You were too slow, or just the process too slow?
No, getting anything done was, you know, you can work and you still didn't get much done.
She did cross stitch.
You cross stitched.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sewed enough at work, I guess.
The first thing I ever did was that picture, the small picture there of the house, and
That's pretty good.
it was pretty tough.
I've taken most of it down to put her under, the apartment had a whole bunch of stuff. But this is the kind of thing, she liked to do the big tough stuff.
Big.
She knows more about me than I do about myself.
Now, being a home economics teacher, did you ever have a favorite recipe? Did you ever have a favorite recipe you like to teach the kids?
He said, being a home ec teacher, did you have a favorite recipe that you taught the kids?
No. I was popular because the guys all found out which day we baked, and then we had all kinds of customers.
Well, what would you bake?
What would you bake?
Oh, I don't know. Just plain, rolls, you know.
Those you smell before you see them. Yes. Pies and pie crust.
Yeah. Just about everything. One of the things is when you live so far from everything, you know.
Tanya, I think
I grew up in the city, so I was used to having things around me, so it was different when I couldn't just run to the store. I don't know.
Our audio went off.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why. I mean, everything's plugged up. And this one's working, so she can take it from here.
Okay. Well, I want to know, when history is written, what do you want it to say about you?
When history's written, what do you want it to say about you? How do you want to be remembered?
I guess I have to think about that. I want to be remembered as a fair person and caring. I don't know. I don't know who's going to remember.
I'd say quite a few people.
Well, maybe.
Anything else you want to add before we close?
No, I don't think so.
It's been a good life.
Yeah, it's been a good life. It's been a long life. And my children have grown up to be good adults. And I think if I'm proud of anything, I'm proud of my family.
You did very well.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us today.
Well, I don't know why, but that's how it is.
You were great. Thank you.
Okay.